After the sequoting, Depo heaved a sigh of relief and relaxed in a chair alongside other passengers. All waited for the boarding call, which was expected at 9:30 p.m., barely 10 minutes after he sat down. He, however, dozed off and slipped into a dream. He was at the Heritage Museum in Badagry. Relics of slavery hung on the walls. He saw slaves and their white masters. The captive yelled, groaned, and shrieked as they were whipped, kicked, and crowbarred. Some were pierced in the ears, lips, arms, and legs with red hot iron. After what seems like a month of torture, those who survived the ordeal were moved to the point of no return. In chains, they fled into the ship, like sheep handed for a slaughter slab. Depot began counting the slaves, even as whips tore their skin again and again. 1, 2, 3, 7 million. As the last man was pushed into the ship, already filled, a white man came to Depot, pointed towards the vessel, and said, "Enter." "No!" Depot screamed. With all the strength he could muster, body, mind, spirit, and soul. "I say no!" he cried again, limping up from the seat. A white airline social officer stood beside him, completely at loss as to what was happening. Second earlier, the officer had found the intending traveler fast asleep. He had whispered into Depot's ear and tapped gently on his shoulder. "Hello, hello." His shoulder as the aircraft readied for takeoff. Some security personnel and bystanders, drawn by the noise, also came closer. They persuaded him to come to himself and hurried get on board. At 10:45, the plane took off as Depot drifted between dreamland and reality. Monday, in Depot's absence, reality stared everyone in the face like a ball on the nose. "Hello." The weekend ought to have suffered to brush off at least a little of the pains of his migration. Hi, hi. But it did not. The hard truth waited for every student at the school gate. It used to be that Depot would stand at the gate every Monday. Hello. Every Monday and Wednesday to welcome the learners brought by school bus or parents' cars. It was a display of affection that every member of the academic community and friends of the school could predict. But here was a new air. Monday, Mr. Depot, the principal, was nowhere to be seen. Hi. But it was during the assembly that the vote became quite vivid. For the first time since all the students came to Stardom, Principal, as they sometimes called him, was not available to talk to them. Them, threaten them, laugh with them. "How are you?" "I'm fine, and I'm from Nigeria." "Hi, hi." "Hello, everyone." The vice principal stepped in to address them, but Mrs. Afar Speaks did not strike the youth, or so the student thought. Everyone, including the MD, felt how low the morning moods were. "Hey, beautiful, what's up?" "I'm fine, thank you." Beautiful. Don't worry, students, you will soon have another principal, Mrs. E.B. Gloss assured as she took the microphone from the VP. But the promise hardly assuaged the students' feeling. A darling few minutes, a daring few murmured their non-acceptance of the abasement. I'm fine. But just as the MD was about to say more, a shout of principal reverberated at the gate. Was it a joke? All at once, everyone looked in the direction. There he was. Yes, Depot, of course. He was grinning, arms wide open. The students rushed towards him, screaming excited. They swept him off his feet, bore him high on their shoulder, and began a frenzied dance around the premises. I am back, he cried. I am here, I didn't go. I am not going again. My heart is here. This is where my heart is. I am here to complete my mission. The man's voice was hardly audible as the students graduated to the school victory song. We are stars, we are stars, we are stars of stardom. We are stars, we are always winning. Weird book. This book is funny. So he slept off. Like the whole book ended with him sleeping off and missing his flight. So he was never meant to leave. He ended up being the principal. Very funny book. Very, very funny book. Very, very funny book. The Dawn. Hi. Hello to you. We are reading backwards. We are not reading forward. We are reading backward. We started at the end of the novel, and we are going back to the beginning. I am sleepy. I'm so sleepy, guys. Okay. Point of no return. 3D banner sketched colorfully across the length and the breadth of the wall that overlooked the stage at the main. God, I'm sleepy. So sleepy. Of the school. The school purple and black colors and leaving the background. A large image of Depot laughing gracefully was on the banner, heading, for he gave stardom his very best. It was subtitled Memorable Farewell to a Most Committed Principal, Adedepo Adewale. Until that day, many members of the stardom community never knew that Depo was shortened form of Adedepo. Good night, thank you, good night. Confusion and debate concerning his future were over. He and the school had come to terms with the reality that he would depart. The only sacrifice Depo had to make was to alter his departure date. This will allow the management to offer him a benefiting farewell. But he called Emirates Airline to inform them he would shift his flight by a week. He was about to pay $100 fine, which the school gladly provided. The program began on a Wednesday with novelty, 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 novelty march between the school teams and the staff. The event featured a lot of hilarious. Oh God, I'm hungry. I am hungry. I am so hungry. Front, as the game master, Mr. Ibe, also the referee, assured the staff were 3-2. Whenever the student came close to scoring, he would blow the whistle, citing a mysterious foul play. Even the staff's second goal came via a penalty that had to be taken 5 times until the fifth player beat Stardom goalkeeper. Can you guys believe that? That's cheating. Chido, so good was the young goalkeeper that he had been invited to the country under 17 team. But in this abracadabra match, no one could stop Mr. Ibe voodoo. Refereeing. After the staff final whistle, swearing the time was up, he had sensed danger that the leads could equalize and was not ready to take chances. But it was all fun as the players capped the games with singing, dancing around Depo. On Thursday, a debate was held in his honor. The crux were: the art has contributed more to the development of the country than the science. Do you think that art, you guys know art, like in high school, when you are about to get into grade 10, you are asked to choose between art or science. Now the question is, do you think arts have contributed more into the society than science? So, representative of SS3 opposed the assertion, while their SS2 counterparts proposed it. The components sought to win the audience over by exposing the values of science in health, energy, technology, etc. The proponents, on the other hand, sought to spark sensation by highlighting that Nigerian arts, culture, and entertainment sector had blessed the country with more appreciable impact. They cite that fact that Nigeria had not won the Nobel Prize in Science, whereas Professor Wole Soyinka earned the Nobel Prize for Literature as far back as 1986, even long before our opponents were born. That's very, very smart. The audience roared excellently, moved by the ingeniously delivered long before our opponents were born. So, it was an uppercut. Depo was glad that Miriam, the lead debater for the arts, smartly landed the jab, underlining the importance of the modest humor in debating. Hi, my love, hi. He always highlights this as one of the techniques to be developed as speaking competitions. The arts advocate also noted Nollywood role in Nigerian gross domestic, guys. I'm sleepy, so don't mind my reading. Morning. Hey baby, hey babes. Okay. Products, diplomacy, and recreation. They even argued that music was, at the time, the nation's biggest export. And that's true. In Nigeria, most people know Nigeria for music. You know? guys. I need money, 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 and I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. Give me 2 minutes. I want to use. You look so beautiful. Money. Where you from, girl? Nigeria. Money. La 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 la. Money. Everything, everything. I need someone to subscribe my grok. Somebody come and subscribe my grok for me. I'll give you my grok so that you subscribe. It's 43,000 naira. So once you subscribe, you say I can do my AI. I like doing AI, but I can't do it now because I don't have money to subscribe. They said 43,000 to subscribe so that I can do my AI videos. I like making stories, but I don't have money. Please, give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Can I send you my number, please? I can send you my account number and you send me money. Then from there you can get my number. So just give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. 2 minutes. Like the live and subscribe. Back to our reading, because we are reading. So okay. In the end, SS3 was adjourned the winner. Nevertheless, Depo felt fulfilled by the students' brilliancy, intensive and candor. He saw this as the fruit of a seed he had sown. He also believed the Yoruba proverb, that is, even if Onirisi, the master carver, eventually blows out of the trade, the carvings he had bequeathed to the world will live on. The legacy lives on. From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. every Friday, Stardom had so culture activities. That was why the school easily and predictably dedicated the program to the grand finale of the Depo send-off. The choreal group Sorry, I fell asleep there. Sorry. So the choral group opened the floor with an inspirational performance. It was hello, hi. It was followed by a comedy skit by the drama group, which principally imitated Depo, humorously. The comedian ebbs how he often spoke on the assembly ground, with his trademark, other things being equal. By the way, and if you say education is too expensive, he always allows the student to complete the popular saying by chanting, try ignorance. If you think education is too expensive, try ignorance. Education is not expensive because it's worse for you to be ignorant of anything, be educated. You don't need to go to school to know. You have to read. You can do your research. Know your alphabets. Guys, I'm sleeping. Of course, they also did not forget the principal pronunciation. Depo might have realized for the first time that he loved putting his left hand in his pocket while speaking. Most revealing, perhaps he discovered he could get naughty while reprimanding any teacher who failed to be punctual in class. An imaginary encounter the skit maker staged also indicated that he was not immune to a hot temper, especially when the teacher became lackadaisical. I should go and sleep. I'm trying to study here. I'm not going to bed, I'm studying. The last main offering of the day was a string of dances by the drama group club. This includes the Beta, Atilogu, Koroso, and Kenu dances. The Yoruba Beta dance involved mathematical movement of the arms, shoulders, because the instruments were unavailable. The students improvised with a dijam. The Igbo Atilogo dancers buzzed the crowd with spirited dance movement and acrobatics. Koroso, one of the popular Hausa dances, featured the performers wearing identical outfits and moving their body simultaneously. Depo was delighted at the richness of Nigeria art and culture. He worried that he would miss them in the UK. So, the last dance came. It was the Kano dance of the Badagry people, which showcased Nigeria is beautiful, guys. Which showcased the performance as travelers in a canoe floating on a river. Depo recalled how 3 years earlier he had invited a professional dancer from the national. Everything is going well. I'm just sleepy. and I'm trying to study. So Depo recalled how 3 years earlier he had Troffer to teach the student the unique movement. This initiative followed an October 1st Independence Day performance he had taken them to see at the National Theatre. In Lagos, there the troupe performed the dance alongside other varieties from parts of the country. Even as he was leaving, Depo was happy the dance had come to stay at Stardom School. He became more emotional when the dance transported him to Badagry, where he vividly pictured slaves as their agonies. Towards the end of the performance, he saw himself back at the Badagry Heritage Museum. You guys should visit Badagry Heritage Museum. When you visit there, you're going to see a lot of things there, mostly slave trade, how people were traded and sold during those days before the independence. Watching a documentary on the inhuman treatment slave masters meted out to the captive as whips tore the flesh of the naked slaves and blood oozed from their skin. Depo felt their pain. Greatly distressed, he wondered why nobody stopped the crew handlers. Why would someone even stop them? Like, during that time, everybody worshipped the white master, so why would you even stop them? Like, it doesn't make sense. A frame of anger began to course through his body. You guys, it's course, not cross. As one of the men drew a sword and made to strike a feeble old slave, Depo rose to his feet and cried out, "No!" Silence dropped on the entire audience. The performance stopped rapidly. All eyes turned towards the principal. Then Depo came to himself. He had been thinking deeply, very deeply, and had slipped into a dreamly state. The auditorium looked amazement, wondering what had suddenly come upon the principal. What? What happened? Why? Why would you just shout no? Like, have you guys ever dreamt of something, like you're dreaming and you just woke up from the dream saying something like, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. Just imagine you and your boyfriend in a house doing something and you keep shouting your ex's name. As the principal rose from his chair, okay, you guys, I'm tired. I want to sleep. But my goal for today is to finish this chapter so that I can sleep. So, it was Depo's turn to improvise. He surveyed the many baffled eye. He then smiled. I meant no school should have done the Ghana dance better. None at all, he said as the audience applauded. The drummer reviewed. The dancers picked up their imaginary oar and paddled on in size with the jam explosion. So, in her remark, Mrs. Bidom Gloss expressed deep appreciation to Depo for the contributing what she called an unrevived quote to the growth of stardom. She said Depo was so impactful that if she had her ways, she would not let him leave. But we know that in life, we meet to a path and a path to meet. Do you guys hear that? In life, we meet to part and a path to meet. We can only wish Mr. Depo success in his new place, his new country. She stopped and turned in his direction. Mr. Adewale Adedepo, would you kindly what she asked? As the principal rose from his chair, the entire hall, parents, staff, students, guests, all also stood in ovation. Mr. Depo raised both arms high and waved at them in appreciation. He felt humbled. He walked stupidly to the podium and stood at an arm length from the MD, which had also joined in the applause. Thank you very much, thank you very much, thank you very much, the MD said, as the cheers and whistling quietened gradually. Then she continued, perhaps I need to state this. I am not the one who employed Mr. Depo. My late father, Chief David Aje, did. He was the one Depo met 24 years ago. Wow, this man taught for 24 years in one particular school. When he first came to the school, unlike many others who faced our interview panel, Depo only encountered Dad on that first day. He had submitted his application to my father that chatted after Dad had looked through his curriculum, vitae, and certificates. Dad became stuck with him. It was a day in early September of the year. They arranged that he would resume on September 14th as the school resumed from its long end of section vacation. There was a vacancy for English, so we expected that Depo would resume the first day of the season, but he never did, neither the day after nor the third, till the end of the week. We were worried and suggested inviting others who have applied or be interviewed, although Dad was quite concerned that Depo assigned classes SS1 to 3 would miss out on precious study hours. He insisted that we wait a little longer. Now, that was quite unlike that, who would take no nonsense for any staff member, let alone leave a class unmannered. But their father stood, making a case for a bloody absentee employee. There is an essential teacher in that guy that kept telling us. To cut a long short story, God, I'm reading rubbish, guys, rubbish. To cut a long story short, Depo arrived 8 days behind schedule. Dad registered his displeasure, of course, but he was glad that our man turned up. Now, I must stress that from day one, justify the confidence and faith my father reposed in him. He had never betrayed that impression of an all-round great teacher, which he gave Dad. Can you help me with money? Give me money. You guys, I'm tired. Oh God, I'm almost done. Teaching flourishes. Oh God. Teaching flourishes on the pie of competence, outspokenness, passion, empathy, and morality. Depo embodies these and other qualities that a teacher may require to build great students. When he joined us, Stardom was still struggling to establish and prove itself and break even. Over the years, he contributed his shining quote towards the realization of the dreams, the golden dream, the Stardom dream. Together, we have taken the school to the mountain top. Teachers had have come, teachers has gone, principal have come, principals has gone. But Depo input is unique in the history of our school. He has a genuine passion for students. He with parents, he understands and does everything to promote the vision of the school. He has been a blessing to our business, so I urge every other staff member to emulate him. You guys, the heat here is too much. Oh yeah. Oh God, I'm tired. Mr. Depo, it is a pity stadium and indeed Nigeria are losing you to Britain. We hope you will still find a way to always reach out to your darling student. As you and I discussed during our meeting on Tuesday, please find a way to get your school in London to collaborate with us. We will cherish it and value the bond and the mutual gains. She turned to the principal. I would like to present to you this little token from Stadium. We will not gift you a car or some electronic gadgets because you're no longer in Nigeria to use such. Where you are going is the heaven and heaven of good things, hoping this will not propose some other people to. The MD added, prompting laughter. Here is an envelope for you. Mr. Depo moved to receive it, and he did. She held out her right hand and clasped him in a solid shake. The do froze for the historic moment as the school went click, 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 click. Dozens of smartphones camera joined the race to capture the hour. The minutes and the seconds when it became clearly clear that Mrs. Adewale Adedepo would be seen no more on the premises. The gift is from the management Mrs. Gloss contributed. For the depth of our soul, I may not have to declare how much. How much? How much? Several voices across the hall asked light-heartedly. MD in one voice specifically had 10 billion. Not a few persons thought it sounded abdudish. The MD laughed off the inquiries and continued, but I can assure you that you don't need to go to any bank or malam to change the money. It is not in naira. How much? Tell us how much. Well, I should admit that it is also not less than $10,000, the highest Stadium has ever presented to any disengaging member of the staff. Wow. They gave the man $10,000. The audience greeted the disclosure with another ovation. Thank you, the MD said, and she stilled the last page, guys, and I'm going to bed. But meanwhile, it is a check, not cash, not raw dollars, as you can see how flat the envelope is. She explained as she stepped aside and offered the podium to Mr. Depo. It was time for the celebrator to speak. The hall again erupted in applause. The principal took hold of the microphone. He readjusted it for Mrs. Gloss 4 feet 9 inches position and brought it to par with his 6 feet 2 inches word. Thank you, everyone, he said, waiting for the rod to upside. Okay. As movement like this, what failed to express sincere depth of appreciation on behalf of my family and my the principal the principal the principal pushed aside the microphone and God, mosquito is here, and buried his head on the podium. He had begun sobbing audibly. Not many were surprised. 24 years after his first walk into the school premises, what had become home to him, only a few people expected a tear-free party. Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Adedepo. The MD intervened. Our beloved principal is overcome with emotion. We quite understand that, she added. It was the moment of truth. From the pocket and handbag and handkerchief of all shade are played as many members of the stadium family doubled their eyes. Good night, guys. I have to drink water first before going to bed. I have to drink water.